What's up? What's up? Happy Monday, everybody. So, hope you had a great weekend. So I was just thinking about that video I made on Friday, The Tale of Two Charts. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. We talked about the debt increase and kind of how you have to prepare for the future. One of the charts was the Bitcoin price chart, which, by the way, is up $2,000 today because that's how Bitcoin rolls. But in that video, kind of got me thinking, and it was kind of like over the weekend. I was thinking about that video and what I was talking about, and there was some things in there that I wanted to kind of expound upon, right? So I talked about kind of my parents' generation and how in the '90s that was like their heyday, and $5,000 a month, that was big money back then, right? So kind of what we were saying, right? So preparing for retirement, preparing to have that $5,000 a month kind of budget and what that means today. So in that video, I had this chart and I talked about right here, the house being paid off. So the mortgage going to zero. But, kind of what we didn't touch upon was how much money it costs to maintain a paid off house, right? And that's another like indicative of inflation and kind of everything that's going on in the world and how expensive things are. So most of those houses that we're talking about for the '90s, these are simple homes, right? Ranch homes, split levels, raised ranch, the type of house that you could age in place in gracefully with no problem. But if you're retiring and you're stuck at that $5,000 a month in the example that we used, you're in rough shape, right? So let's talk about some examples of repairs. And this is what I mean. So the first one, let's talk about HVAC, right? So if your AC system looks like this, it's going to have to be replaced. And we say inflation is a big cause of why things go so expensive. But another part of it is government regulations. The government regulates these things in the name of whatever, right? You can call it the environment, whatever. That's a whole nother video. But AC is a perfect example. In 2010, they outlawed the Freon that everybody used. So if your system's 14 years old and it could be repaired, you can't even repair it because you can't get the Freon. So now they're forcing you to replace it. Well, Dave, hey, it's better, it's cheaper to run, but you're asking somebody to pay $15,000. So that mortgage payment in the example of $1,200 a month, so you're great, that's paid off, that's $14,400 a year. So your first year's savings of not paying your mortgage, bam, now you're spending more than $5,000 a month. So, I hope you have some savings. And this is the point of this video, to kind of make people aware that you can't count on the things that we counted on. So HVAC, right? That's $15,000 to replace, right? Next up, a water heater, right? Because that can happen at any time. So you come home, there's water all over the floor, $1,200 to $2,500. Those only last 5 to 10 years. So over the course of that 30 years paying down that mortgage, you could be on your third or fourth water heater, right? So you have to budget for that. Roofs can go all over the place, right? Roof could be 10,000 plus. So if you look on the top right, that's a 3-tab shingle roof. That's the typical roof that was kind of used in the 80s. And then in the 90s, we started getting into these architectural ones like the picture on the bottom. But, you want to replace a roof, look at that bottom picture, right? We have a skylight. We have some chimneys coming through. We have vents coming through. Those are all areas that could leak. So many hidden costs in roofing. All right, siding. You got vinyl on a house that's 40 years old. That's going to have to be replaced. Could be 15,000 plus, right? Especially if you notice in this picture, I don't know who that guy is. I took this picture off the internet. But if you look at that picture, you see the waviness in the vinyl. That's a very common issue, right? Windows. Windows only last so long, right? I work with a lot of 3 families, a lot of multi-families. Those 20, 30-year-old vinyl windows, those things are beat. So you bought this house in 1994, you paid it off. Now you're looking at $500 to $1,000 for each window. That's if there's no rot. Decks, here's another example, right? So this is the cost to maintain these properties. And every year this gets more and more expensive. And that's kind of, the point of this whole thing is, if you're retiring and you're thinking about your future, inflation is just going to eat this stuff up. Because when this house was built in 1994, or when they bought it, this deck wasn't $5,000. Rotted door frames, that's a big common issue on houses from that era, right? The water gets in underneath, that's a few grand. Look at this, a temp drawer valve, right? A shower valve that leaks, a dish, garbage disposal. That's just the materials at Home Depot. That's not even the labor to put it in, right? appliances. So, and that's a lot of government regulation in appliances as well. So that gets more and more expensive every year. Garage door. So these are just some examples, right? So I want to just kind of follow up and just, and then that was what the tale of two charts is, right? It's only going to get more expensive. So if you're thinking of your future in dollars and you're anchored to what things cost today and tomorrow and yesterday, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because when you retire, you're going to live a lot longer than you think. And if you don't have that cushion and you haven't planned ahead and you're not realizing the writing's on the wall, because it's guaranteed that inflation is going to continue. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It's guaranteed. So you have to think now. You got to find things now that are going to beat inflation, right? That are going to benefit from the economic climate that we're in. And again, it's not any political party. It's all of them. Everybody's guilty. All right. So that's all. I just kind of wanted to follow up on that and talk about that really quick because we didn't even touch on the cost of ownership of a home and maintaining it. So if you're somebody and this was, let's bring this slide back up real quick. So if this was your budget and you're thinking, great, my house, so paying off your house into retirement, you may not be saving any money when you're doing 10, 15,000 a year in maintenance. And it's not even deferred maintenance. It's just a lifespan of materials and how they get more expensive over time. So this was a quick one. I just kind of wanted to kind of build upon when we talked about Friday. Comment below if I missed anything. If you need help, if you have a house and you're watching this and these issues are plaguing you and you need some help with that, reach out to me. I have a vast network of people that are very good at what they do and would love to help, right? Take advantage of the relationships that I have for your benefit. All right, guys, take it easy. Happy Monday. Enjoy the day. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks.